Okay, this is the Moose from Sioux Lookout, Ontario, and I'm Jacob Maliaster. And up here, well, we have to do our videos, in rooms that are soundproofed because the music is so loud inside the bar where I am. So that's where I'm broadcasting from, and I just wanted to give you an update on various topics. Okay, from the beginning, you understand, and Family Guy, as kind of a comic thing, it's known as a satire. In other words, it's a send-up of what's really going on in the world, because it's basically using the same artistic energy that you are playing with, like it's a string on a guitar or a bass, and you're just plinking it, plink, 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 plink. So that is a form, plink, plink, plink. It is a form. A form is a plink. A musical note is, if it's at one tone, it might be considered to be a plink. So if you've got a musical tone and you're going like this, it's going blink, 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 or blink, 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 or you could go, blink, blink, blink. It's basically the same as the drum, except that you're using the strings on the bass to make your, bop, 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 a pulse. So yes, the bass instrument is known as making a pulse of music. I believe Gene Simmons from Kiss was their bassist. Well, I don't know. I'm not going to give you any more names because you should never release people's desperate pleas for long pass receivers, because in the end, if you make the pass complete, you might have just advanced the plot. And if you launched Mary Had a Little Lammy, then you might be looking at getting involved with less and less hearts with anyone except your twin flamer. So if you're out watching this, potentially you're my twin flamer, and if you're not, then you're automatically a soulmate of mine. And if you're out to give me a good time, remember that if you get involved with me, you're going to have to get involved with all of the characters that I play, plus the new ones, because I'm constantly acting. And my first item of business is, well, you're in a human form, so you must have an ego self, and that ego self has a name. So if you remember way back, there was a psychological thriller, it was called Sybil, and Sybil had multiple personality disorder. Well, the problem was that Sybil was made to be crazy, but Sybil was simply someone who played many characters, and she was an actress. And they made it out like she had something wrong with her. No, she was just acting different roles, and that's what actors do in the movies and Hollywood all the time. So if Hollywood's insane, then so are the rest of us. Just keep watching. I'm going to be looking more and more for Harry Mudd from Star Trek, the original series. Harry Mudd was an interstellar pirate and a smuggler, and he was always getting up to interesting things. Roger C. Carmel was the actor's name who was that character in Star Trek. If you were going to write a novel about Harry Mudd today, what would you be talking about? Well, the first Harry Mudd episode was about Harry being a salesperson of people's desires to look beautiful. And Harry discovered that if you tell people that, if you take this good luck charm, maybe it's going to be like a medicine, the medicine is going to make you gorgeous. It's like taking MDMA, it makes everything look gorgeous. But it's known to be a drug effect because it wears off. And, if your drug effects wear off, then where do you stand? You stand soberly there to deal with reality as a sober person. And then what? Well, maybe after you've had a dozen hours of sobriety, you might like to have some water, because sometimes water changes your sobriety if you're dehydrated, and you might feel better and your mood might change. Insufficient time to continue this broadcast. Thank you for tuning in, and this is like Spock from Star Trek doing long live and prosper, long live and prosper.